Hello, good evening. A warm welcome to you. This is Starr today here on Starr FM. I'm Tutuwaa Danso. A listen to the stories leading the pack this evening. And coming up tonight, police service working round the clock to restore law and order following widespread reports of nationwide violence, which is threatening to mar Ghana's recent peaceful progress. We'll take you live across the country where reported cases of violence have left residents in those areas living in constant fear, plus bring you the thoughts of a security analyst to these unrests.
And I think that it's about time we map out a very, very strong strategy to be able to ensure that we retrieve all weapons within Boko to ensure that we minimize the incidences of the use of guns in the conflict. I do not believe that Boko is too big a place.
Also coming up, fate of Ablekuma North parliamentary candidate still hang in the balance after Electoral Commission for the 7th time called off a scheduled recoalition exercise due to vandalism of the EC's Greater Accra Regional Office by some irate youth.
So what you saw in there was a clash between the NDC and the MPP. But we thought this is a setup from the EC, because how can you direct us to bring two people and allow MPP to enter the room with over 20 people in there?
We have more on this for you shortly. Plus, I beg your pardon. We have more on this for you shortly. Plus, an exclusive interview with the Electoral Commission on steps being taken to find a lasting solution to the impasse. Also in this bulletin, Education Minister designate and Tamale South MP Haruna Idrisu given baptism of fire by striking CTAG members even before he officially assumes office as minister.
We also expect that some of our colleges will be made autonomous so that they can issue their own degrees and certificates to students, so that by the day we can be able to train more students in other fields, not only in the primary education sector.
And much later, religious beliefs or service to motherland.
We are cutting Lutu. We have seen Mala, big Malans. They are cutting Lutu. Through them, we started to cut Lutu. Yeah. It's a game. Lutu is a game.
We'll bring you the latest on that controversial appointment of a practicing Muslim as NLA boss. We have the details making this 1 hour 30 minutes broadcast. Do stay.
Star News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Cool 103.5 FM in Ho, Rage and Might FM in Tamale, Somali FM in Wa, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Star 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Star 103.5 FM.
Thank you very much for your time this evening. I'm Tutuwaa Danso. So this bulletin is also streaming live on Facebook on Star 103.5 FM. Now, violence has been reported in Ghana following the investiture of President John Dramani Mahama on January 7. Reports indicate that some Ghanaians have been involved in violent clashes, targeting state offices, engaging in mob attacks, and other forms of unrest. We move to the eastern region, where two people, including a resident and a land guard, have reportedly died following a violent clash on a Thursday at Krabwa, a farming community in the Ayensuano district. Now, this incident has heightened tensions, with residents calling for urgent government intervention to address illegal sand winning and ensure their safety. Eastern Regional Correspondent Tutuwaa Sam reports live from the community.
Well, 2 people, including a resident and a land guard, have reportedly died following a violent clash Thursday. Tutuwaa, a farming community in Ayensuano district in the Eastern region here. The incident occurred after residents, predominantly peasant farmers, blocked a road to prevent sand winners accused of destroying their farms from transporting sand to Accra and its environs. According to eyewitnesses, the residents' protest escalated when land guards protecting the sand winners attacked them with gunfire. The residents retaliated, leading to multiple casualties. 1 person was shot dead. One of the land guards was also found unconscious after being hit. He's alleged to have died. 4 victims with gunshot injuries currently at the Eastern Regional Hospital in Koforidua. Kati is one of the victims discharged this morning.
And I walk on Quano, Langard Roma 1 issue 3. And after the use of Tutuwaa, police commander from Hanum, Katanisi, offered to under fem, number 2 and 2 fem, and of the 2 fem, and of Bubu Nipabi night with the Messana Tunukai, and Nipa 4, what book of Phobia and Zambia, the Sia, Nipa 4 Nidia, 1 9 year about the Kanisua, Nipa 4 Nidia, 1 9 year, and a boy back to what up components now on no Sudrasi. All of us what that component into the Ofipo no Osania Siquem. The one is said, what was in it way? Nangadino, as Sutuno, Nemfi Hanumuse, Emma or Dafem.
Ayensuano district has been plagued with illegal sand winning activities, often resulting in violent clashes between farmers and sand winners. Armed land guards reportedly accompanied these operators, terrorizing residents and destroying farmlands.
It's affecting the farmers. They have gone to spoil their crops. Those who went and even take loans, all of them, their crops have spoiled. Some of them are my customers here. You understand? And this is a farming area, so it means they farm and sell the product before they eat. Everything is spoiled. They burn their farms, they go into it. Since 3 days ago, they were destroying all the trees. So when the people go there, then the land guards themselves will fight them.
This latest incident has heightened tensions in the community this morning, with residents calling for urgent government intervention to address the illegal sand winning menace and ensure their safety.
That's a woman. That's Rabbi said. Sabaya can any of the chain. Look at the say. That's who you know. Yanadia. Welcome, Yanni Baba Conede. Okay, can say. Yes, you have to the smoke or twine. Amano. No one gets to us as him. I want to Shania, 1 by 11, 12, 1 o'clock. Yakuya gets to a police station. Tell me what you so much to me. The police station.
Reporting live from Tutuwaa in Ayensuano district, Tutuwaa, Eastern region.
Those were live scenes in the Eastern region, specifically Ayensuano, which resulted in the death of 2 people over some sand-winning activities. But the Ghana Police Service has been talking about the ongoing clashes in the country. My colleague Ejabin Emmanuel is in the studio with me to give us a detailed breakdown of that statement. Ejabin, thank you very much. What is the police?
Well, the statement is coming from the Ghana Police Service. It's just dropping in now, and it's in respect of the working to ensuring law and order and even peace in the Nkwanta area and the OT region. We do understand from the statement that the IGP himself was spoken to 3 chiefs, telling them that they should allow for law to take its due course. The OT regional commander as well is also there. The persons who injured are receiving medical care, and those who are deceased and lost their lives, God rest their souls, have been deposited at the morgue. So let's take you through the statement, which has been signed by Grace Ansah Krofi, who is the Director for Public Affairs at the Ghana Police Service. It says that the Ghana Police Service has restored calm, law and order at Nkwanta and its environs in the OT region with the deployment of reinforcement teams to support the regional command. The police are being supported as well by the military. This follows renewed communal-related disturbances in the area, which has so far resulted in the death of 5 persons and injury to 5 others. 8 buildings and 1 shop have also been destroyed. The 5 injured victims are currently receiving medical care, while the bodies of the 5 deceased have been deposited at the morgue. The Inspector General of Police has spoken to the 3 chiefs in the area over the telephone and appealed to them to partner with the security agencies to maintain security, law and order in the community. Meanwhile, the OT Regional Police Commander is also in the area engaging the chiefs, opinion leaders and community members as part of peace building activities as investigations into the incident continue. They are saying that they are assuring the public, particularly the people in Nkwanta and its environs and even the OT region at large, that the police and the military will continue to work together to ensure peace and security are maintained in the community. So we do understand the police service and the military are working together on this matter.
Thank you very much. And as I said earlier, I mean, the violence clashes did not happen in just the UT region. We've had issues in the eastern region as well, and of course, in the upper east regions. So that's where we are going to now, because we understand that unidentified gunmen attacked the military escort vehicle traveling from Kulungu to Boku in the upper east region. Now, this attack comes barely a week after the president's peace-building mission to resolve the long-standing chieftaincy dispute between Kusasis and Mamprusis in the region. Now, although no casualties have been reported, the latest development has sparked a concern about ongoing volatility despite numerous efforts to address the crisis. Let's go over the phone lines now and have a conversation with my colleague Idrisu Kasim for more on that. Thank you very much, Kasim, for your time this evening. Has calm been restored to Boku after President Mohammed's peace-building mission?
Today we haven't had any attitude.
Kindly position yourself properly so we can have a conversation. Your line is a bit jittery.
I hope you can you hear me well?
I can hear you now.
All right. So I was saying that since yesterday, what happened last night, the gunshot everywhere this morning, we haven't had anything bad to report, and that is what all of us are praying for. Calm has been restored in the town, business, people are moving up and down, and you know it's getting closer to the KCR, that's 6 o'clock, so people are moving from their workshops, places, and their workplaces back to places, so nothing is happening currently.
That is some relief, I guess. But I mean, going forward, do you know of any steps that are being taken to prevent any violence in that region?
For now, we can't say yes because every day the security keep on putting measures to make sure they stop these gunmen attacking here and there. But as the security put measures, they are also planning a way out to find their way out to do these things. So when you come to Boko right now, both functions, as we all know, Kusasi they can't go to where the Mamprusis are, and the same thing applies to the Mamprusis. They cannot also go to where the Kusasis are. Then there is totally lockdown. When I say lockdown, the Kusasis, what we are hearing from the ground is that they are not going to allow any vehicle from the township of the Boko, that is where the Mamproses are, to Bolga, for whether with escort or whatsoever. But what they mean is that they want Seydou Abagri out of the town before they can restore any peace in the town. With this, most of them are suspecting that anytime they see any vehicle being escorted by the security, they believe Seydou Abagri is in that vehicle. So they try to know what is inside that particular vehicle. So this is the case that will trigger attack of the vehicles on the way.
I mean, I just want to ask a really simple question. Did the president's visit to Boko inspire any hope? Because she told me that the people say until Seydou Abagri is taken out of the town, they will not succumb. Did the president's visit inspire any hope in the resolution of this conflict?
Yes. The president visit on Boko, there was enthusiasm. They were happy. The people in town, particularly the Kusasis faction, were happy to see and visiting Zugrana Boko Naba Asigri Azoka Abugrago the second. But after then, after the visit, that was where these escorts. This attack was made. So we don't actually, like I rightly said earlier on, you don't know where these people always plan from. So once the security and then the state opinions are putting things together to make sure peace restore, they also have their way planning to also come from different directions. So you can't really tell. Yes, the people were excited, yet after that there was gunshot. So if they were truly excited for the president's visit and they are ready to restore peace or to return peace in Boko, where from the gunshot and attacks again? This will be the question too.
Now, talk to me about the current state of the place. Are we seeing more military troops visit the place in a bit to, maintain or manage the situation?
Yeah, for that, the military are here in their numbers. The military, it's a task force, joint task force team. We have the police, we have the military, we have the immigration, we have all the security coming together to make sure there is peace. You can see them moving up and down, but trust me, these people, these gunmen, they don't do this attack on the main highway. Some of them, they have their corner, they have their way. So once the security are on the main street or some principal the streets trying to restore peace and other things, others are also planning interior behind these things. So the attack normally comes from outside the town, maybe not close to the main road, but somewhere. And sometimes it is a plan of to divert the security tension. Sometimes they can just attack a particular area just to divert the security attention to that side so that the other side can have their way to operate from that side. So those are some of the issues. So security are on grounds in their numbers, making sure peace returns.
And what have the residents been telling you, with regards to the president's visit especially?
Yes, they are happy about the president's visit. And, before the 2024 general election, the president himself promised that if he elected into power, Boko, to return peace in Boko would be one of his main focus. So after he visited the town, you can recall that during the 2024 general election, some particular areas polling station recorded 000, just because the president promised them that he's going to restore peace in Boko. So the citizens in Boko are happy and they believe and they trust that the president can really restore peace in Boko.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. That was Idrisu Kasim. He's our regional correspondent there in the Upper East region. But Executive Director of the West African Center for Counter-Extremism, Mukhtar Mumuni Mukhtar, has also been sharing his thoughts on the violent acts.
One of the single biggest, tools used in the violence is, guns. There's a lot of, guns in circulation in the area. And I think that it's about time we map out a very, very strong strategy to be able to ensure that we retrieve all weapons within Boko to ensure that we minimize the incidences of the use of guns in the conflict. I do not believe that Boko is too big a place to outweigh the capacity of the security actors to retrieve weapons in Boko. We need to ensure that we're gaining the capacity of the security actors to retrieve all weapons in Boko and ensure the incidences of the use of guns in the violence.
And in Kwanta, for instance, we've had a situation, chieftaincy dispute in the area, lives have been lost, dialogues have gone on, we've deployed to the area, but looks like it's unending. We're still coming back to that situation there. What are we missing in that conversation about in Kwanta?
They mapped out a peace agreement, and all of these chiefs and parties involved, signed a peace pact. And there was a commitment to uphold the peace in the area and ensure that it does not go beyond the level at the time. Unfortunately, we did not see deliberate efforts to revisit the matter and lay out a sustainable long-term strategy to deepen, the peace in the area. And so that element of it is what we call post-conflict peace-building initiatives that seeks to cement the relationship among the various actors. That was missing, and that, in fact, has contributed to the current escalation of the conflict in the area.
Well, that was Mukhtar Mamuni Mukhtar. He's a security analyst. But let's go by the phone lines now and engage another security analyst, Adambuna, Dr. Adambuna. Doc, thank you very much for your time. I mean, we are seeing a number of violence acts which are threatening to mar the peaceful transition that we've just had. What will be your initial thoughts on the back of that?
Well, my initial thoughts, good evening to your listener. My initial thoughts on the back of that would be that we have over-centralized the fight against conflict in this country. So we do not have, as a policy, a localized way of dealing with conflict. And so, for instance, we attempt to use one-size-fits-all conflict resolution method in dealing with, different conflicts at different locations. So you have attempting to use the method that was used in dealing with the Dagon crisis, in dealing with Boko, and attempting to use what is happening, the method in dealing with Boko crisis, and dealing with Ayenswano, and dealing with in Kwanta South, and that has failed. Some of us have said that in conflict resolution, conflict, once it is not, a national type of conflict, conflicts are usually localized. Let's have a localized solution to dealing with our conflict. But unfortunately, what we have done over the years is attempt to have one size fits all in dealing with it. And I have called for, over the period, for instance, we have a national security policy document or strategic document. What is in there? I mean, I have read it in and out. And I say it's a good document that we can further develop on. But have we checked the KPIs in there to be able to tell whether some of these things we would be able to tease out some of them in dealing with, localizing the solutions to conflict? We haven't been able to do that. The Peace Council doesn't have a biting force. The Peace Council cannot supreme anybody. You have the NCC. The NCC is highly incapacitated, under-resourced to go in there and educate the local people some of the triggers to conflict. And once these things are not done, then I tell you what, we are going to have recurring conflicts in all over the country. And so I think there must be a solution to this.
Talking about a solution, as an expert in that field, what will be your proposals?
Well, I have already highlighted some of them. For instance, you talk about this Ayenswano thing. The truth is that the people, how it happened, I'm sure you have been informed. They came in and retreated and came back. I'm sure that if we had a localized way of dealing with it, the moment they left, they came in and left. Someone should have just said these people would come back because it is a trend. You go to in contrast South. It just didn't happen overnight. It just didn't happen from nowhere. There was a trigger pending to explode, and it did. And so what I have said over the period is that, can we have, for instance, the NCC capacitated? Let's capacitate them. Let's give them the requisite training in terms of conflict resolution. They go into the market areas. They go into, call them churches, mosques, to be able to train the people, get facilitated, get local opinion leaders, train them with regards to this would be a trigger when you see the scholar. And what is happening is that when there is a conflict in Ayenswano, we wait for the national level to respond. At Boku, we wait for the national level to respond. If it is happening in Nkwanta South, we wait for national level to respond. So at the local level, there is no capacity. And by the time the national level responds, there would have been fatalities. And I want to see people getting punished. When people commit these crimes with impunity, believing that, you know what, I can do A, B, C, D, and no one is going to go after me. And they do it. So in return, others would also come and do the same. And the cycle continues. So I want to see a situation where we try to come up with localized solutions. Let's not have one policy fits all in dealing with conflict in this country. It has not been helpful, and it's not a way to go. Anyone who understands conflict resolution will tell you that it's never a way to go in dealing with conflict anywhere in the world, and Ghana is not different.
Now, you talked about localized levels and all of the issues that may have erupted. People will also argue that the fact that there are no DCs in some of these communities, for instance, could be a factor. Do you agree?
Well, it could be. It's a remote factor. I tell you what, it's a remote factor. But if you tell me these areas that we are talking about, I don't want us to begin to use excuses to justify what has taken place. In contrast South, DCUs have been there in the last 8 years, and this conflict has been recurring. You go to Ayensuano, DCUs have been there, and it's been recurring. Yes, the DC is not been there, or the MMDC is not been there, could be a remote factor. They need to be appointed as soon as possible. But just merely appointing DC, remember, DCs are appointed from political parties. DCs are not just appointed, they are not neutrals. And so if I was in a community and I felt that, you know what, when my party was out of power, I was bullied, and today my party is in power. The DCA is supposed to be coming from, my side of the divide, be a member of my party. And so I can do things, and the DCA who is chairing DISEC or MUSEC would have to look on. He can't do much because he might have come to me to lobby me to help him become the DCE. And so mine is that the best way of dealing with conflict is prevention. Can we prevent this conflict? Yes, we can. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do it the way we should do it. And for me, I don't want to say DC. I wouldn't talk about DC as an excuse, because then it's a remote factor, but not the main factor. It is just a remote factor.
Right. Thank you very much for speaking to us. That was Dr. Adam Bona. He's a security analyst. Now, the Committee for Public Accountability has recommended the recent attacks on salt mining firm Electrichem. Some irate youth in the Ada enclave stormed the company after the swearing in of President Mahama and made away with some equipment. Now, speaking to Starr News, Executive Chairman for the Committee to Public Accountability, Collins Amankwa, accused Ada MP Comfort Doyogan Sakuju for attempting to sabotage operations of the company. The former Mainshia North MP called on President Mahama to intervene in line with his promise to protect local businesses.
During his inaugural speech, inviting, investors to invest in Ghana's economy, including promoting Ghanaian businesses. So if we're going to sit down for few people because of their selfish gains, would want to destroy, such projects, then I think it's a source of worry. That's why we are calling on the Member of Parliament for the area to back off from such ugly moves. It's not right. And as a committee, we roundly condemned such acts. She should not be seen to be sabotaging this project, but she should rather encourage the operators of the company to do more so that the local people would also be able to live happy.
That was Collins Amankwa.
Today, first, fast, and credible.
Now let's talk about issues that have confronted the Ablekuma North constituency, because the fate of the NPP and the NDC in that constituency still hangs in the balance. More than a month after the electorate in that constituency went to the polls to elect a member of parliament, now several attempts to recollate the constituency's results have always ended inconclusively. For the 7th time today, chaos erupted at the Electoral Commission's office in the Greater Accra region as a group of individuals believed to be supporters of the NDC and NPP stormed the premises during the recollation exercise. The violence disruption saw the assailants damaging several louver blades at the EC office, forcing the commission to halt the process. The individuals claim the Electoral Commission's work is over. Hence, the commission cannot carry on with any dubious exercise to declare the NPP candidate winner. My colleague Obed Kingaglu was at the Regional Coalition Center and has the rest of the story.
If you look at the time, we embark on industrial action on the 2nd.
Yesterday, we were called by the municipal director of EC to be here as early as 8 a.m. because they want to finish this thing once and for all. So the directive was that we only bring 2 agents to the room. We were here at 8 o'clock. We went into the room. To our surprise, we saw the MPP with over 20 people in there. So we asked ourselves, is it a setup from the EC? Because you gave us a clear directive that this time you are only allowing 2 people. So we also have to withdraw because they were intimidating us inside. So we withdrew and we came back. So we also mobilized our people. So our people also came before we also moved in. So what you saw in there was a clash between the NDC and the MPP. But we thought this is a setup from the EC, because how can you direct us to bring 2 people and allow MPP to enter the room with over 20 people in there?
Couldn't there be a resolution by discussing and agreeing that the MPP supporters should move out, and so that there will be only 2 rather than clashing with them?
The point is the EC officials themselves were not there, because you gave us 8 o'clock. When the commotion started was around 10 a.m. If the EC had come early, we wouldn't have even encountered this problem. And up till now, they've not told us anything. So we are still waiting for them here.
There's been destruction of properties.
But my point, who caused it? You gave us 8 o'clock and you said you are allowing only 2 people. How did the MPP supporters got access to the coalition room? How did they got access to the place? And my brother, ask yourself, what are we even coming to collate today?
We ni abam. Na so akwa free yes on tiase. Wo ewrabna o free ye. Wa lusu. Wa be bia to ye nyina kyese ye no. We free we ya ha akuri ewrabna fa ewrabna fa. Ni nyina wa fa enso wa free ye wa lusu. We se won tiase se wa lusu. Eniama a wo kyeche ye ni sika wo se no wo se nko won fa sika ma no so won soma se kyeche no ma bi wo fa 30 million wo de mani pa baako freezer wo de amani pa baako kyese wa kye no ma bro wa kye no ma ka so ma gye o ma bre no o ma ya to atia no eno so won tiase a wo ma ye wo ha ye sa no.
Let me still engage some people here and find out what they make about what transpired here. Now, you are a party agent of the NDC.
Yeah, sure.
What do you make of what transpired this morning?
Declaration or gazette should be done. It should be as soon as possible. It shouldn't take this long. Right. EC is not saying anything. EC is not telling anyone anything. They are only in bed with EQFA. This is what they know how to do.
If they said they are not ending to the problems of Ablekuma North, it's MPP people who are causing this. Because in 2016, if any time they win us, we leave it to them. But this time around, we Ablekuma North people, we voted massively for Honorable Irabra Obi because we are tired of them. For the past 1996, They are not doing anything. If you get to Ablekumanov, all over the places are dirty. We need somebody to come and save us from those dirtiness. So we voted for Honorable Rabra Obi, and she has been declared as an MP of Ablekumanov. Those 62 pink sheets that MPP people brought, and the EC also accepted it. We are not going to accept it.
Why?
Because from the beginning, they told us that they are not going to use the scammers pink sheet. How come today EC has accepted those pink sheets from MPP and they are supporting them to declare our opponent? We are not going to accept it. So those things that they are doing for the 62 pink sheets, is illegal. Right. We are not going to accept it.
Right. So those are the words of the NDC agents who are insisting that the 62 pink sheets which were presented by the MPP, which are scanned copies, will not be accepted by the NDC. For them, until such a time that Irabna Obing is declared as winner of the parliamentary contest in Ablekuma North constituency, they are never going to accept it. From the regional office of the Electoral Commission here in Ridge, Obed Kingaglo.
Now, that is what happened at the Greater Accra Regional Coalition Center of the Electoral Commission earlier today. But let's go over the phone lines now and have a conversation. We have Mr. Fred Teta. He's the Deputy Director of Research at the Electoral Commission. Thank you very much for joining us here on the bulletin this evening, sir. Now, for the 7th time, Coalition for the Ablekuma North constituency has been called off. What exactly happened today?
Well, thank you very much for having me. What happened was that, as you may know, today being 17th January, the Electoral Commission informed the public through the media that we're going to have the finalization of the coalition process of Ablekuma Central.
Ablekuma North.
And as the preparation was done to have the process in there, in between 9:30, 10 o'clock, was led by the president of the NDC, came up there.
Hello, Doc. I think I lost you there. Hello, can you hear me? Unfortunately, we are unable to hear Mr. Fred Teta. He's a Deputy Director for Research at the Electoral Commission. He was trying to give us a rundown of what exactly happened at the Greater Accra Regional Coalition Center today, which led to the postponement and literally calling off the coalition of results in that constituency. But we'll get him back on the line and have a conversation earlier. But as I was telling you, the face of the NPP and the NDC in that constituency still hangs in the balance, because after a month of election, the electorate in that constituency went to the polls to elect a member of parliament, and results have still not been concluded yet. But we have Mr. Fred Teta on the phone lines now. Thank you very much, Mr. Teta. We have you back on the line. I think I lost you at a point.
Sure. Yes. We had some people led by the organizer of the NDC.
Sir, I'm really struggling to hear you. Your line is really, really jerky. If you can kindly position yourself for me properly so that we can have a conversation.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Sure. I was saying that in between 9 to 10 this morning, a group of thugs, I'll call them thugs, because if indeed they are people from the party, they should have well behaved. But unfortunately, these persons were led by the Greater Accra Regional organizer of the NDC. If I am told, his name is Nupenu or something, Anthony Nupenu or something. They went in there, destroyed things, glasses in the conference room where we've been having our collation. So, looking at what happened, the scary thing is that there was a fight
at the main entrance of the Electoral Commission. So staff members who have reported decided to flee, and some of the people from the media who happened to be taking shots of what is going on were warned, and everybody had to leave. And it didn't end there. We picked up to corporate office as well, broke in and entered into the main compound and then onto the lobby area towards our reception. It was quite unfortunate. As a result of this kind of threat and then situation insecurity, the commission decided that we have to call off the finalization process of the Ablekuma North constituency coalition.
But talk to me about the security detail there, because if there were police presence there, how did the thugs, as you call them, get access to your property and destroy a lot of things? Talk to me about the security detail there.
Yeah, from information from a debrief with the police as to how they were able to breach the security processes, arrangements to come in there, you can see that they were taken by surprise. And in any case, the numbers of the supporters that came, they were more than 40, outnumbering the security that has been dispatched or assigned responsibility at those two locations. So that's what happened.
But is it a case that the police were not up to the task?
I can't say that. I think their numbers were not as many as we've been seeing in the past. But whatever the case is, this is just a single constituency and just 3 more polling stations to be done. And we were not expecting so many people coming in there at that time. So that's what happened. They were overwhelmed and overpowered by the numbers of the attacks.
But, I mean, in previous coalitions for the Ablekuma North constituency, for instance, we have witnessed a large number of security personnel there to ensure that peace is maintained. But it looks like this time round, it wasn't the same modality. What happened? Is it that you underrated what was likely to happen, knowing that this is a very tensed, coalition exercise where the NDC is not budging and the NPP still maintain their position that they have won the elections in that constituency?
Yeah, if you may know, the directive from the High Court was for the security services to give us security, to reinforce the security. After what happened in terms of their arrangement, I cannot speak to that. But for us, Electoral Commission, we were prepared. Returning officer, the district officer for Ablekuma North, all of us who were involved in the last time the attempt to finalize the coalition process were at the office, ready to move in and then do our work. In terms of security arrangements, like I said, I cannot. The commission officially informed the security services of our intent and our plan, but we don't know what happened from their part, and I cannot speak to that.
The last time you tried to collate results for, I think, some 20 outstanding polling stations, we had presiding officers, coming in to say that they couldn't vouch for the results there, and the NDC had raised concerns regarding that. Were you able to resolve these concerns?
All those processes have been resolved, and the returning officer has the document, and therefore today our intent is to finalize and then have a declaration made. Unfortunately, this is what has happened. But the commission is not sleeping on its woes. Actually, we're going to go back and then we'll have this completed.
But are we talking about the same returning officer?
Of course. Because you see, the public service work, if you cannot sit somewhere and then or stand somewhere and just say, oh, I'm no more interested in the job, or you must tender in a documentation. You must write officially to the commission, of which he has not. He was with us today, meaning that he said that out of the situation at the time, the frustrations that he was going through and all of us were going through.
Now let's talk about. Please carry on.
I said he is ready to work.
Fantastic. Let's talk about the NDC's also earlier concerns they had raised about, you admitting the scanned copies of the pink sheets. Have those issues been resolved as well? Because you say that you were poised to collate the results finally today, but were those issues really resolved?
You're talking about their objection to the...
Exactly.
But the last time that we were there, the same scan pin sheets were also confirmed. The figures on that, the scan pin sheets, were confirmed by the presiding officers.
The NDC didn't have a problem with you admitting the scanned copies?
No, why should there be a problem? Because people are using technology. People are using technology all over. If you have a document now, I don't think you will just be holding, get a physical copy of the document and then just walking about. No, you are prepared to send it on your phone and keep a copy. If possibly, you can even send it somewhere or even save a copy in a file somewhere in a drive. So, so far as the figures in there, it has been printed, and the figures in there as to what they are confirming tallies. I don't think there should be a problem.
Okay, but I think that largely the NDC's problem has been with the authenticity of those documents. Don't you agree that they have a valid point?
I don't think it should be a problem because at the start of the collation of this kind of attempt to have the collation done at the regional office of the Electoral Commission, the Commission came out with a procedure, a blueprint as to how we go about it. First, you look for the original copies. If the parties don't have the original copies and they have scanned copies, we agreed and we read the procedures to them. I don't see the reason why. Is that same processes that we used for the 20 until we were able to do 17 of them? Why not the 3 that are remaining? The remaining 3. You agree to the 17 with the scanned copies that they brought. You check they had figures on their laptop, and they confirm the figures that are being said from the read on the scanned copies. The returning officer also has them on his phone. So basically, what are we talking about? We've gone through all the 17. Now it's left with 3. And for that one, you don't want to agree.
But I mean, in the wake of those disagreements, are you looking at maybe rerunning the results for the entire, constituency, just as you wanted to do for the Abokobi place?
We didn't do rerun for Domi Kwabinya. We didn't do any rerun for Domi Kwabinya. Okay? So far as figures are there and officials can state that yes, indeed, these are my names, these are my handwriting, these are the signatures, and these are the figures. Why not? And if you could recall, what was done in Domi Kwabenya, it came to a point that the final day of adding up the last polling station to have the declaration made, the NPP didn't turn up. They have no copy of that thing sheet for that particular polling station. The NDC handed in their copy of that pin sheet, and that was used and added up.
Now,
because the presiding officer for that polling station was able to come forth and then testify and authenticate that yes, indeed, these are my figures. This is my handwriting. These are the figures that we recorded on the pin sheet. And I was the one who detached. So what makes the difference? If you don't have it and another party have it, why are you putting impediments on the way of the Electoral Commission?
Right. I mean, going forward, what really is the solution now? Because for the 7th consecutive time, coalition has ended inconclusively. What does it look like for people in Ablekuma North who want a representation? I mean, government is progressing.
Well, let me assure you that whatever it takes, they are going to have a representation in Parliament. The Commission, we will not be able to tell you what we want to do on air, but we will do whatever we want to do with the collaboration and the involvement of the parties concerned, even if it happens to be the candidates themselves. So no matter what happens, the Ablikuma North people are going to have a representation.
Yeah, but
I would like to tell you that this is not the first time it has happened in our parliamentary elections. It has happened in the era of Aferijan. It has happened in the era of Charlotte Ote. I quite remember Solatuna Kaba. We had similar problem. At the end of the day, not only Solatuna Kaba in the northern region, and then Afram Plains South in the eastern region in the 2016 general election. So basically, we'll surmount it. It's something that the Commission is not going to leave it hanging. By all means, we'll come to the end of it.
Okay, but are you able to finish us with specific, duties that you may want to undertake in a bit to ensure that these issues are resolved?
I will not be able to tell you. Strategically, we'll go through that.
Are you looking at?
Hopefully, by end of next week, the Commission will come out.
Before the Commission comes out, I just want to find out briefly. Are you looking at having an IPAC meeting in a bit to resolve this?
No, you don't need IPAC meeting because if you could remember, for Domiko Abenya, we invited the two parties involved. For Domiko Abenya, they have other candidates as well. So the PNC as well was invited. All the parties that filed candidates were invited. So it is not an IPAC meeting per se. And in this case, it's only two horse race. The two parties will be invited. And as to who and who will be invited, the Commission will take a decision and then we'll go forward.
But do you have any, expectations ahead of the security for your next exercise?
I believe what happens today has been a lesson to all of us, the security as well, and going forward, the directives by the High Court. I believe on the due day that the Commission will fix, they will do the needful.
Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. That was Mr. Fred Tete. He's the Deputy Director of Research of the Electoral Commission, giving us updates on what happened that led to the suspension of the coalition exercise today at the Greater Accra Regional Office of the Electoral Commission. This is Ablikuma North that we are talking about. It's been a very difficult situation. A month after elections were held, the constituency still doesn't have representation because the NDC has issues, and they believe that until the Electoral Commission deals with those issues conclusively, they will not budge and allow Ekufrie to take the seat if really she indeed won. But the Electoral Commission has been responding despite we engaging Mr. Fred Tete, and they say that in a statement they say that the Electoral Commission wishes to bring to the attention of the general public that following the order of the High Court on January 4, 2025, directing the Commission to continue the collation of the polling station results and declare the winners of the 4 outstanding parliamentary elections, the only constituency still outstanding is Ablikuma North. It is instructive to state that the order of the High Court mandated the Ghana Police Service to provide the Electoral Commission security to conduct the collation of polling station results for the outstanding constituencies. The collation of polling stations results for the Ablikuma North took place on 8th January 2025 at the old office of the Electoral Commission. However, the exercise was not completed because 3 out of the 281 polling station results were outstanding. They go on further to say that it is instructive to know that the supporters were led by the Greater Accra Regional organizer of the NDC. Our staff also identified too many military uniforms without the names in the company of supporters. We call on the police to swiftly bring the perpetrators to book by identifying, arresting, and prosecuting them. Video footages are available showing the faces of the perpetrators of this heinous crime. And once again, we call on the government to engage the Ghana Police Service to ensure the Commission is provided adequate security to enable us to go to the office and carry out our function in a safe and secure environment. The threats to lives and property are unacceptable and should not be allowed to continue. The Commission is working round the clock to ensure that people of Ablekuma North have the Member of Parliament. We need a cooperation of the Ghana Police Service to achieve this. This was signed by Sam Motiti, Deputy Chairman of Operations for the Electoral Commission.
Starr today, first, fast, and credible.
Now, the appointment of Tamale South MP Haruna Idrisu as the Education Minister designates has come as a surprise to many. The former minority leader and the former communication minister between 2009 and 2013 is heading to the Education Ministry, which is saddled with challenges such as the feeding crisis in senior high schools and other infrastructural challenges. One of the key issues is how the Tamale South MP will navigate the rather slippery education terrain, coupled with a recent industrial action by members of CTAG. Now, speaking to GH1 News in an exclusive interview, President of CTAG, Maxwell Bunu, said until their concerns are addressed, they will not call off the strike.
If you look at the time, we embark on industrial action on the 2nd January 2025. As of that time, we still have the previous government in power. Their office only ends on the 6th of January 2025. So our thinking, our reasoning is that the outgoing government was the very government that we have entered into negotiation with. They have had several meetings with us. They understood our issues. So we believe that before they exit or leave office, they should be able to see, work closely and see finality to our concerns. The more reason why we decided to embark on strike at that point in time, because the new government, even though they may have idea about it, they may not have all the information. If we allow the new government to take office before we begin to make our concerns known, then what you are rather thinking might be what will be the mind of a lot of people, that probably we wanted to do this to make the new government unpopular. But that's not part of us. It's about our future, our current survival, and basically that inform our decision to actually embark on strike 2nd January 2025.
The new government can also argue that your industrial action is illegal because he hasn't gone into any form of negotiation with you. Do you buy into the idea?
Certainly not. The legality of strikes can only be determined by National Labour Commission. So nobody in government can arrogate powers to himself or herself to say that a union who has embarked on strike is on illegal strike. No. So if we want to determine the legality, then we're looking forward to hear from National Labour Commission. And the commissioner themselves know that the previous strike that we've embarked upon was legal. And same applies to this one, because we have gone through a lot regarding our issue. So when it comes to the labor law and what we need to do, we have actually served notice. And as we've gone through the 7 working days that is required before we embark on strike, that also has been achieved. So there's no way even National Labour Commission will say that we have embarked on an illegal strike. The issues are known to them, and they themselves know that they have not been fair to us, because at the time that they are supposed to rather take on the debtor, that's the government, and make sure they enforce their own award, because they gave the award. So one would have expected that they should ensure that the government actually comply with the award. But they left the government off the hook and rather chasing the creditor, somebody who is rather in pain, somebody who is suffering, somebody who is actually going through the biting economy. Rather, is being chased to suspend strike. No, we can't continue along that. So our strike, even as it stands, is still legal. That's what I need to let you know.
Maxwell Bunu also called on the minister to expedite action in ensuring all 46 colleges of education across the country become autonomous.
I think we have indicated that we have gone through a lot of turbulent times, and we as leaders have become liars before our very colleagues. Because you go, we have shown a lot of goodwill, and they have promised you, and you come back and you happily report to your people that, oh, by so and so date, this issue will be resolved. The dates come and nothing happens. So our colleagues are no longer at this moment ready to listen to any promise. All that they are looking forward to is that money should be paid into their account. And that's the stage, sadly, that's the stage you have gotten to. So until payment is done, no college lecturer will step his or her feet into any lecture hall. And fortunately, Prinkov has also deferred the calendar. So we are hopeful that by 22nd, they should be smiling. And I think that should be a good motivation for us to consider that decision. Well, granting autonomy to the colleges, I think that is also good because for some time now, we have been affiliated to various traditional universities. And if you have been affiliated, my brother, you know that you don't need 10 years or 20 years to learn what is happening in the traditional universities. So we believe that what we have gotten to, we have learned enough, because if you observe carefully, almost all their sandwich programs, we are the one that they employ to come and help teach those programs. So if we're not qualified, we will not go and be helping them to teach those programs. So we think it's about time they grant us the autonomy so that we will be able to manage the colleges on our own and be able to also structure the system by rolling out other programs in order to also help generate more IGF for the institutions. Currently, the colleges do not generate much IGF because we run a solo program, that's educational program, so we should be able to open up. That doesn't mean that we'll go along the path of the traditional universities, but we can restructure the college system and allow growth to also take place. We have our colleagues who have their MPhil certificates, enabling them to teach. As I speak with you, a number of them have completed with their PhDs. Others are also, going back even after the PhD. So in the not too distant future, you will find within the college system a lot of PhD holders and their associate professors, and we are looking forward to also see professors within the college system. So autonomy is important, and I think gradually we'll get there. Rome was never built in a day. We'll certainly get there. Well, as leaders of a union, as colleges, we are looking forward to working closely, collaboratively with him. We want to actually ensure that we engage him, let him understand our concerns so that we can bring the necessary growth that we need in the colleges of education.
That was Maxwell Bunu with CTAG speaking about the nomination of Haruna Idrisu as the Minister Designates for the Education Ministry. He has raised, some reservations because of probably Haruna's background, but they're also very hopeful that he can resolve the issues that has confronted the Education Ministry. They're also asking for the colleges of education to be made autonomous. We are trying to have a further conversation on the back of that. As and when that happens, we'll bring that to you shortly.
Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Cool 103.5 FM in Ho, Rage and Might FM in Tamale, Songali FM in Wa, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM.
And now let's go to the clash between the views on religion. Well, because the appointment of a practicing Muslim, Mohammed Abdul Salam, as acting CEO of the National Lottery Authority has set tongues wagging, sparking intense debate among Muslims, including Nima, a predominantly Muslim community. At the heart of the controversy lies a clash between faith and duty, as Islam firmly prohibits gambling, labeling it as a sin in Quran chapter 5 verses 91. While some residents argue Abdul Salam should uphold his beliefs and reject the position, others see no conflict in him taking on the role. GH1 TV and Starr FM takes you to Nima to hear the diverse and passionate views of the people on this burning issue.
As far as it's our government who is appointing him, because he's not the one going to be staking the lot. He's just heading the institution. So we don't have any problem with that.
Islam entirely frowns on anything gambling, betting, and so on. So I don't see it as a point that a Muslim who has a lot of faith will go for such a position. I think that the scholars has to talk. They have to rise up and tell him in his face that this is not right. There are a lot of positions that he can equally good position or better one that he can go for it.
I don't think the government forced him to accept that position. There's a consultation, and he himself accepted that appointment. Islamically, it's not good for a Muslim man to head that position. So I think he himself have to withdraw, since he's a Muslim, and he have to withdraw and accept different posts.
So no, I didn't decide. Or dia fine. On this Christians, Muslims, Lotto, hey, Bonnie, when
we are cutting Lotto. We have seen Marlon, big Marlons. They are cutting Lotto. Through them, we started to cut Lotto. Yeah. It's a game. Lotto is a game. Who is perfect? No one is perfect except God. Lotto is a game. So we there inside. Marlon, control everything. We there with you.
So you take Lotto, you stake Lotto.
I stake Lotto. See, let me show you my phone. I stake Lotto every day. Numbers. See, numbers. Oh, you can't see well. Let me make it wait. Numbers. Have you seen?
Yes.
We there inside Lotto. Marlon, we there with you. We there with you. Only God can judge. Nobody can judge anybody. Only God can judge. So Marlon, we there with you. Keep on. GH1.
That was a report filed by my colleague Zuleiha Nuhu and Ejaving. I mean, the people she spoke to said that they know big imams who stake Lotto. I don't know about you.
All we know is that for the Muslim community, they rely on the Surah Al-Ma'idah, and verse 90. It says, all believers, intoxicants, gambling, idols, and drawing lots for decisions are all evil of Satan's handiwork. So shun them so you may be successful. Shun them so you may be successful.
I know people who have staked Lotto, one big, and are very successful.
Satan's plan is to stir up hostility and hatred between you with intoxicants and gambling, and to prevent you from remembering Allah and praying. Will you not then abstain?
But what about service to nation? What about that?
He is a Muslim. This is what Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 90 is saying.
So which people have been staking the Lotto? Are they traditionalists or what?
Do you have evidence? You don't. Yes.
But
and it's it's drawing a lot of conversation on social media. People are asking him. I think there's one post that says that his take is that he doesn't know the comrade Muhammad Abdul Salam in real life, but his checks reveals that he's a practicing Muslim. He said, bro, you can't accept this job for the sake of the Almighty Allah and the appointing authority. The Muslim community feels this kind of appointment is a slap to our faith. We plead for withdrawal of this appointment. I am believing that soon and very soon, the Muslim community, the clerics might release something in respect of this. Someone is also saying that this is something that was stated clearly in plain language in the Quran. Just as I read it, oh, you who believe, intoxicants and gambling and the altars of idols and the games of chance are abominations of the devil. Avoid them that you may succeed. There's another person who says he has gotten a call and he says that Lotto is haram according to Imam, period. Lotto is haram. As a Muslim, you have no business running the NLA. This from Mohammed Tanko Usman.
So who should run the NLA? Christians? I think Christianity frowns against on gambling, doesn't it?
So
Christians don't respect the Bible. Is that what we are saying?
I'm just saying that some people are just able to separate religion from their professional work. It's the same thing that, and I understand the Muslim community. It's the same way that if you are a Christian and you profess the message that do not drink, and then you work for the marketing department of an alcohol company, you are essentially doing the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of principle.
But you're just trying to make money legally.
for Christians, they usually use the statement inside did he who does not work, man must. I've forgotten the right verse, but you have to work. You have to work.
Oh,
so
right.
if the only available job for you to do is
to be the NLADG as a Muslim.
I don't know what Muhammad Abdul Salam is going to say, whether he's going to take the position or not. But I don't as well believe that it is a decision by the president to a slap in the Muslim. I don't think it is right. I don't think the president would ever do that. He hails from the northeast. He actually, after performing the Thanksgiving service in church,
he joined the mosque.
Yes, he joined the Muslim community. So this is not a president who would say he doesn't respect. He's religiously tolerant.
Very tolerant.
And so I'm sure these concerns are getting to his door. But it largely relies in the hands of Muhammad Abdul Salam. Some are saying he's allergy too sure. But either way, it's up to him to decide what he wants to do. For me, I see it as a job.
You are a staunch Christian, right?
Yes.
Do you stake Luto?
No.
Why?
But everything in life is a gamble. Everything in life is a gamble. Personally, I do not stake Luto. I don't know how to stake Luto. But I recently changed on something. I'm not the judge. I have my own truth. Another person's truth is a dissenting opinion.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't condemn anyone who stakes Lotto. And I wouldn't say if you stake Lotto, you are going to hell or God is not going to be happy with you. I believe something. You believe otherwise.
Yeah.
I just believe that life is a life of, in our life, we are taking, everything is a game of chance.
Gamble.
Yes, a daily gamble. Even for businesses, when you are putting out a product out there, you are guessing, will this work, will this not work? You try the market and it works. It's just that in our days now, there's a computerized system attached to it or there are odds attached to it, and people are playing those kind of odds. I'm staking the Lotto that, this number will play at this particular time. I'm playing this game, hoping that Chelsea will score 5 times more than the other opponents and stuff like that. It's up to them. Personally, I wouldn't stake Lotto, but whoever wants to stake Lotto, that is their business.
But you know that I'm a staunch Christian, but I've also staked Lotto before.
You have staked Lotto before?
Oh, I have.
I've heard of PEM. Did you PEM?
I don't know the process. So the man just gave us the number.
And you had to stake it?
Sure. And I had a dream that I was going to get big money.
Did you win?
I did 12 cities. I didn't win anything. So
12 cities? How much are you going to get in the end?
I think 200 and something.
200 and something. Oh,
no. Back then I wasn't working. I was a hustler.
So 12 cities for 200 cities?
I think so. I think 200 and something. I thought it was good money.
So 120 for 2 million?
It was going to sustain me for like a few days, weeks maybe.
No, but it means that you didn't pay them well.
Because
those who are here, they pay them. When they pay them the numbers, they get more than 200. So if you are taking 12 cities, you should be getting more than 200.
I don't understand the process, right? But I think that because I had a dream, I was thinking about ways of getting money as an unemployed young lady.
We thank God in your unemployment, you didn't decide to be a confidence trickster by telling people that you dreamt that you had this
10
number.
10 cities for 200. That's what my producer is saying.
10 cities for 200.
Oh, then that means that I could have gotten maybe 220. With that 12 cities.
It's not bad. Like I'm saying, personally, I have not staked Lotto before. I don't know how it's done. But I don't judge people who do that. It's just me and my principles. I mean, I don't have all of us are a working problem. If in a Christian, we all go to church because we are all sick. One way or the other. We go to church because we are all sinners. I'm not here to pass a judgment as to who is the best sinner and who is not sinning the most. I may be telling a lie today. Someone may be doing whatever sin else. It's the same thing. We are all sinners before the Almighty God, the Almighty Allah. So just do your part. Share your truth. If there's a dissenting opinion, respect that dissenting opinion. Understand it that way. And let's leave it to God to judge. God is the only judge. I'm not the judge.
The thing is, I know a woman who her husband staked Lotto. He won big. He gave the money to his wife. They are living good now.
You know, funny thing, there are some people who stake bets, they win, and they pay tithes on it.
Yes, and the churches don't reject those tithes.
So you see, I'm just how would they know indeed? Yeah. So on matters like this, I feel like there is a thin line. But then the thin line does not mean that what your Christian beliefs are means that you should make it permeable enough for some teachings or some practices to come through it. But what you want to do and what you believe in, just keep on doing it.
Okay. But do you think there's a major difference between betting, staking, lotto, gambling? Really?
There's no difference.
There's no difference.
There's no difference. Betting, the sports betting, it's just computer. There's odds attached to it. The NLE, there's a system somewhere, and it's still numbers being played out, and then you have used your math.
And old men and women can get involved.
Yes, and so it's a game of chance. It's a game of chance. Let's call it like that. It's a game of chance.
Alaji Tusho is going through a lot.
The funny thing is, we go and do all of this things to be rich. But have you seen someone who operates a lotto kiosk?
No, the lotto is like localized. They are not rich people.
I wonder why, though.
We'll find out what happens to Alaji Tusho. But thank you very much, Emmanuel, with those social media comments there. Let's go over the phone lines and talk about Ablekuma North, because we now have the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. Doc, thank you very much. I mean, for the 7th time, we've not been able to have results for the Ablekuma North constituency collated. This must be very disturbing, don't you think so?
How is it disturbing when you have a lawless electoral commission? They are the people who cause all this mess. They know that what they are doing is completely illegal. Why are they in the haste to just declare the thing for MPP? That is what they are doing. They know that we have a process in court. We filed an appeal against the January 4th decision by the High Court. And on top of it, we filed a stay of execution. We serve them. The electoral commission, they are aware, they are noticed. The MPP candidates, they run away. They don't want to be served. They are chasing them, looking for them to be served. They know these things, but they ain't served. The Ghana Police Service are aware of it. Why are they allowing this kind of illegality to be perpetuated on these 4 constituencies? We should condemn them. The media should be condemning the issue for all these problems that we are going through. Because if they commit themselves to the legal process and allow the legal process to go through a swift, we won't have this problem that we are having. In the midst of this legal, you are forced to declare somebody. What is that?
I mean, I just want to find out if you are in the know that the attacks that happened at the Greater Accra Regional Office were perpetrated by your party supporters, because that is what is contained in a statement by the Electoral Commission. Are you aware of that?
I'm saying that why are we not talking about who is involved in lawless activities? That has led to all these problems that we are talking about. We are quick to be talking about people coming there and trying to stop lawless activities, but we are not condemning those who initiated the lawless behavior. It's very easy, because what they are doing is against the legal process. They know that there is a execution of that act, yet they are going ahead with it. The other time they took concocted manufactured pictures from MPP in the sense that scanned copies. When they brought the presiding officers, the media were there to cover it. Didn't you see the presiding officers were running away from those concocted manufactured pictures? Why were they forced to do it? What is their interest in that? What were they trying to do? Trying to force to declare MPP winners. When the MPP told us at the IPAS meeting that they don't have pensions, they want to take the IPAS records. They told us they don't have the 62 pensions. The electoral committee also indicated they don't have it. Yet you come there and they now bring pensions and say they are scanned copies. And even to the extent bringing presiding officers, and yet the presiding officers expose them on that day. These are the things we are talking about. Why are they involved in this kind of lawless activities, and the Ghanaians are not calling them out? They're rather quick to talk about what is going to stop them from involving them in this illegal thing.
I mean, moving forward, as you say, the EC is engaging in an illegality because they don't want to heed to the court orders. But if they decide not to heed to this court order again, and they set a date for a recollation of the outstanding 3 polling station results, what will you do?
We are committed to the legal process. And that is why I continue to tell them that they should stop whatever they are doing. Let's all commit to the legal process. We are going to court on 26th. In the Supreme Court. And then they are looking for entities to serve them. They are running away from service. And yet, people who are running away from service, you are rather inviting them to come and declare them as winners. Well, what kind of life is that? That is the problem we are having with this issue. And then my come click on it. Instead of issuing some by heart statement, it's not their statement they issued this evening. What is their interest in that?
Okay, but I mean, are you looking at a dialogue again before you even head to court on 22nd?
We are open for it. As a party, we are open for dialogue. We've been telling them that, look, this thing that you are going to do, we have a process there. Let's commit ourselves. We are open for it.
Because I spoke to Fred Tete earlier, and he told me that there will not be the need for an IPAC meeting to resolve this. Do you share the same view?
That is what?
There will not be the need for an IPAC meeting to to resolve this.
You see why I say they are lawless people. When you have issues of, instead of you to invite IPAC to come and sit and deliberate on the matter, you don't want to invite us for IPAC meeting. They want to do their own thing. They are just bent on declaring an illegal person to get into parliament. That is their motive. That is what they are doing. We are aware of this.
But I mean, in my conversation with him, he told me that latest by next week they would have resolved the impasse without the involvement of IPAC.
Well, we are waiting to see. We are all here. We are all here. If they don't want to follow the legal process and they want to control their lawless activities, well, it's unto them. They know what they are doing. So we are here as a party who will not be part of such illegality. And we will respect anything coming out from this until the court decides.
But I mean, from where you sit, what really is the issue with that constituency, Ablekuma North? Look, it's been a month after the elections were held, probably a month and a few days after, the president was, elections were held. They still don't have representation. What really is the problem with that constituency, from your own perspective?
The problem is that there are outstanding 62 polling stations. Our candidate was declared. They didn't even find out the reason why the 62 were not asked declaration. We haven't gone to that matter. Everybody is talking of 62 outstanding, 62 outstanding. Don't you know that when there's an overvoting in the polling station, that polling station pension is cancelled? So if you have a number of polling stations which recorded this kind of anomalies, they're cancelled. It will not be added to the tally. And a candidate can be declared with those numbers. We haven't going to go to the veracity of that one. Now, court, issue didn't go, you people want issue to complete the 62 and add it up. Yet the 62 cannot be found. It cannot be found. Some people sat in their office and manufactured 62 pink sheets and said they have scanned the copy and brought it for the issue to accept. Can you imagine? And they're using that one and forcing everybody to accept that.
I mean, for that, I think the arguments I've heard from the MPPs with the fact that they are afraid if they present the original pink sheet, your party supporters or the presiding officers may tear them into pieces.
Yes, are we drunkulous? What are they talking about? Tear them to pieces. When are we become drunkulous that we will be tearing people around? They should stop that thing. They are lying. They don't have it. Because of that thing that happened on that day, it affected the NDC, affected the FDP, and affected the Electoral Commission. It cuts across. So all of us don't have that pink sheet. We told them, and they mentioned it at IPAC. They themselves mentioned it, that they don't have the pink sheet. So we told them, if you don't, that they have scam copy, so we will ask any scam copy. Who is right senses to accept scam copy? When you know, I know I can design pink sheet on my laptop and bring it as a scan copy. When they did that in brought it, don't you see that the final officers were running away from it? Because they thought that they were doctored. These were not their figures. These were not their signatures. It exposed them big time. And so this is the issue we are talking about. So let's all get back to the court. Let the court look at the matter. The ruler of the High Court, he went into the veracity of the matter. And that's why we have problem with him and we are filed for the appeal. Because you were going to rule on Mendemu and he ruled as if it was an election petition.
Okay, but are you aligned with the EC in terms of the outstanding results for polling stations? Because the EC maintains that there are just 3 left. Are you aligned?
We are not. What are they talking about? Which 3? We are talking of 62. They are talking of 3. Where did they get it from? Origin that kind of kokofu shari they did. We are going to accept that. We are not accepting any. This is coming from that place.
Okay, but in the meantime, will you condemn the attacks on the commission's property?
Will you condemn the commission lawlessness and other things?
I guess you've given your response. Thank you very much. That was Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. He's a Deputy Director of Elections for the NDC.
Start today. First, fast, and credible.
And since 2019, the National Identification Authority has registered more than 17 million Ghanaians for Ghana cards. However, inmates of elderly care homes and rehabilitation centers, especially those suffering mental health challenges, appear to have been completely ignored. Now, this exclusion has far-reaching consequences, including the inability of the states to properly identify them for targeted social interventions. In this following feature, Ultimate News' Ivan Hikut-Fumado visits 3 of these care facilities as they make a case for government to designate special registration centers to capture them onto the national identification system.
The NIA is now discussions with the NHIA, NIA, and above 60 years. Yes.
Yeah, everybody is entitled to Ghana card. Every person in this country deserves, who is a citizen and is proved to be a citizen, needs to have an identification card. And so that one I don't think is for us to even debate on. Once you're a Ghanaian and you know you're a Ghanaian, whether you have a mental health condition, whether you're a person with disability, whether you're an older person or whoever you are, you deserve to have an identity card.
It appears Ghana has no excuse, especially as it used $124 million to build the National Identification System. Besides, apart from provisions in Ghana's Persons with Disability Act 715, which prescribes punishment for discrimination against persons with disability, Article 6 of the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights emphasizes that everyone has the right to be recognized as a person before the law. Another inherent danger is that the state will be unable to properly identify these persons with disability, know where they are residing, appreciate the enormity of their challenges, and thus will be unable to adequately design targeted support programs and policies for these vulnerable citizens. Reporting for Starr News, Ivan Hikut-Fumado.
That was my colleague Ivan Hikut-Fumado with that report today. And that brings us to the end of Starr Today this evening. Thank you very much for joining us all week for Starr Today. We deeply appreciate that. I mean, for more news updates, log on to starfm.com.gh. I'm Tutuwaa Danso. This bulletin was produced by Benjamin Eko, Annan and Benjamin Saki. And Emmanuel Ejabin was here with me. And of course, Emmanuel Donko and Joey greatly assisted as well. We are back next week with more news updates for you. Have a good evening and a lovely weekend.